Close your eyes for a second and imagine this. No streetlights, no phone screen, no lamp in the corner, no hum of a city somewhere in the distance. Just nothing. A darkness so complete you cannot see your own hand in front of your face. And somewhere out there, past the edge of whatever small fire you manage to keep alive, something is moving. You can't see it, but you can hear it. This was every single night for our ancestors. Not occasionally, not when the power went out. Every single night. For hundreds of thousands of years, the moment the sun went down, ancient humans entered a world that was actively, genuinely trying to kill them. Predators that hunted in the dark, cold that could drop a body temperature to fatal levels in hours, and a psychological terror, a primal fear of the dark, so deep it still lives in you today. That feeling you get when you wake up at 3 a.m. and something feels wrong, that's not irrational, that's ancient, that's inherited. So how did they survive it? How did a species with no claws, no fangs, no night vision, and no shelter better than a rock overhang make it through hundreds of thousands of nights, and live to become us? The answer changed everything about what it means to be human, and by the end of this video, you'll never look at nighttime the same way again. Let's start with the thing that made survival possible at all: fire. Not just as warmth, not just as light. Fire was the single most transformative technology in all of human history. And ancient humans didn't just use it, they worshipped it. They built their entire existence around it, because fire didn't just keep them warm, it kept the dark alive. Here's what fire actually did for our ancestors at night. It created a perimeter. Predators, lions, hyenas, leopards, the things that owned the African night, are hardwired to avoid open flames. Something in their evolutionary programming tells them fire means danger. So a fire, even a small one, created an invisible wall around a campsite. Step inside the ring of firelight and you were, relatively speaking, safe. Step outside it, even 20 feet, and you were on your own. But here's what most people don't realize about ancient fire. Starting it was not easy, not even close. Before modern tools, making fire from scratch required skill, patience, dry materials, and the right technique, and it could still fail. So ancient humans didn't just light fires, they kept them alive, feeding a fire through a cold night, managing the fuel, knowing how to bank it so the coals survived until morning. That was a survival skill as important as finding food. Letting the fire go out at night wasn't just inconvenient, it could mean death. But fire only solved part of the problem, because the night brought more than predators. It brought cold. Even in Africa, where our species was born, nighttime temperatures could drop dramatically. In other parts of the world where humans eventually spread, the nights were brutal in ways that would kill an unprepared modern person in hours. And ancient humans had no Gore-Tex, no sleeping bags, no insulated walls. What they had was each other. And this is the part of the story that hits differently when you really sit with it. Ancient humans slept together, not just couples or families, whole groups pressed together for warmth, in the most sheltered spot they could find. A cave mouth, a rock overhang, a depression in the ground lined with grass and leaves, bodies generating heat, sharing it, keeping each other alive through the night by the simple act of being close. Think about what that means. The instinct to reach for someone in the night, to sleep better when another warm body is nearby, that isn't weakness or neediness. That is a survival adaptation, hundreds of thousands of years old. Your body still knows what it learned on those cold nights. Closeness kept your ancestors alive. It literally kept them from freezing. And the group did more than share warmth. They kept watch. Ancient humans almost certainly didn't sleep the way we do, alone, in a dark room, for 8 uninterrupted hours. That model of sleep is actually very recent in human history. What researchers believe ancient humans actually did was sleep in shifts. Some people awake, tending the fire, listening to the dark, while others slept. Then they'd switch. Light sleepers and heavy sleepers in the same group weren't an accident. They were a feature. The person who woke at every small sound wasn't just annoying. They were the group's early warning system. This is why so many people today feel like they can't sleep, waking up at 3 a.m., lying there alert for no apparent reason. Some researchers believe this is a remnant of that ancient watch schedule. Your body is still running the same nighttime security protocol your ancestors needed to survive. You don't have predators outside your bedroom, but your nervous system doesn't fully know that yet. Now, here's the part of the night that people almost never talk about. What did ancient humans actually do after dark? Because here's the thing, they didn't just survive the night, they lived in it. The firelight hours were some of the most important hours in all of human cultural development. This is when the stories were told. Gathered around the fire, in the warmth and the relative safety of that flickering circle of light, ancient humans did something no other species has ever done. They narrated the world to each other. Who did what today? Where the water was? What they'd seen? What they feared? Stories of ancestors, explanations for the stars, warnings about dangers, instruction for the young. Everything a group needed to survive, knowledge, history, culture, identity, was passed around that fire in the dark hours before sleep. The campfire story isn't a quaint tradition. It is the original internet, the first way humans ever shared information across time and distance, and it happened every night for hundreds of thousands of years in the only safe place available, the ring of firelight, with darkness pressing in from every side. Some researchers believe these nighttime gatherings were when language itself deepened and expanded, the pressure to communicate clearly, to hold attention, to make sure everyone understood the warning or the lesson before they slept. That pressure shaped how we learned to speak. The night made us storytellers, and storytelling made us human. So, let's come back to that darkness we started in. The fire burning low, something moving beyond the tree line. The group pressed together, a few eyes still open, watching. Children asleep between the adults, the coals needing attention in another hour. How did they survive it? They survived because of fire tended like a living thing, because of bodies pressed together against the cold, because of the person who couldn't sleep deeply, who heard every sound, who woke the others when something felt wrong, because of the stories told in the firelight that carried knowledge from one generation to the next, because of the group, always the group, that made the impossible survivable by doing it together. The night tried to take them every single evening for hundreds of thousands of years, and every single morning they were still here. You are here because every one of your ancestors survived their nights. Every fire kept alive, every watch kept, every story told in the dark. They did all of it so that one day their descendants could sleep safely in warm rooms and still feel, somewhere deep in the nervous system, a faint echo of that ancient alertness. The night shaped us more than we know, and we carry it still. If this made you think about your own relationship with the dark, that's exactly what this channel is for. My question for you this week, do you ever wake up in the middle of the night for no reason? Drop it in the comments, because now you know exactly why. Subscribe for more deep dives into how we survived the impossible. I'll see you in the next one.